I went through almost 250 pages of notes and jokes for the year 2024. I whittled it down to my favorite ones. But 2024 has been an absolute joke of a year. You think about it, it's been an absolute disgrace in just about every way you can imagine a disgrace. Politically, sports related, pop related, you name it, 2024 has been a train wreck. So, for the first time, I'm actually going to do a stand-up completely on 2024. The year from hell that just wouldn't end or die quickly enough. I don't know about the rest of you, but I am waiting for 2025 in 2 days. I cannot wait to get there. We're live. It is December 30th. It's 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and yes, I'm about to roast the entire year 2024. And no, nobody's safe. Wow. One thing after another. I kept rereading the list of all the things I was going to talk about tonight, and it is a wild group of different events. I didn't just pick politics, I didn't pick just sports, I didn't pick just music, I didn't pick whatever. I picked on everything to play with. And yes, I'm official to actually judge 2024. Alabama officials baffled after thieves steal 200-foot tall radio tower and all of its equipment. Aliens are the top suspects at this time, especially that little bastard E.T. By the way, E.T., if you're up there watching right now, thanks for introducing me to Reese's Pieces. They still suck compared to M&M's. Florida man who drove his pickup straight into the ocean was fortunately saved by 3 brave lifeguards. Alcohol has not been ruled out. Really. The Republican National Committee selected new leadership, Laura Trump. Next day, she was indicted by the New York courts on charges of, we'll figure it out later. Pretty much like how they did everything else this year. Runaway kangaroo darts around Florida apartment complex. Snoop Dogg asks, runaway kangaroos, really? What are you smoking and where do I get some? Nikki Haley lost to none of the above in Nevada. Yes, she figured out how to lose in an election in a state when she was running against herself. I'm not even sure how you can do that. That's probably a good reason, Nikki, that you really need to drop out of politics and go do something else. Don't know what. Megan Pauline Jordan has admitted to having sexual relations with one of her 14-year-old students. In his house, on the coffee table in his house, the bedroom, the coffee bar, the dining room table. Miss Jordan was turned in by another student who wasn't getting any. Some kids are just jealous. Officials in California, San Miniato, declared loneliness a public health emergency. Yeah, like getting stuck in COVID was really good for any of us. But luckily, the cross-dressers that like to read to the kids in libraries, yeah, they were nice enough to help out. Now they're going over to read stories to these lonely people as well. On an EasyJet domestic flight from Edinburgh, England to Bristol, England, same country, the passengers found themselves getting off in France. Yeah. Hunter Biden says, you think that's bad? Try going on a flight without your cocaine. Biden. Love him. PETA this week has asked that the groundhog, Punxsutawney Phil, be fired. I mean, honestly, do you even know a groundhog that even has a job? I don't. And somebody who wants to get him fired from it. A judge ordered the evil orange man, also known as Donald Trump, to pay $83 million to writer E. Jean Carroll for defamation. OJ called him and said, "Hey, I got to kill 2 people for $33 million. You need to find a new attorney." Utah has a proposed bill that would ban kindergartners if they're not potty trained. Luckily, the President of the United States office does not have the same criteria. Lucky for you, Joe. Shit yourself. Well, here's a fun one. February the 3rd, a man was arrested after decapitating his own dad. Yeah. Chopped his head off. And then he proceeded to go on to do a 14-minute YouTube video of why he killed him. Yeah. Well, that's one way to get ahead in life. Just chop off somebody else's head. Don't lose your head. Texas motorcycle. Oh, this guy's great. Texas motorcyclist goes to Colorado Springs, 71 miles, and he does it in 20 minutes, topping out at speeds of over 150 miles an hour. He did make the happy hour at Hooters on time, though. So he does get that working for him. But, of course, he had to go out and stick it on YouTube, so he got busted. Okay, if you're going to commit a felony, guys, remember, don't put it on YouTube. Social media is not your friend. Florida District Court made it legal to carry firearms in postal offices. Coincidentally, Florida is now rated the best state in the country for postal offices' friendliness and tidiness. What do you know? Pointing a gun around helps. 80-year-old New Hampshire woman survives being compacted in the back of a garbage truck 4 times. She accidentally fell in and got compacted 4 times and lived through it. To which Hillary Clinton said, "Well, you know, I had nothing to do with it. I don't do attempts." Hunter Biden showed up for a congressional meeting on cocaine and hookers this week and quickly left. He didn't know that the inquiry about the cocaine and the hookers was actually about his hookers and cocaine. Couldn't catch a break. Well, you know, until that pardoned him for 11 years, and he literally cannot be found guilty for anything he committed in 11 years. Isn't that nice? Georgia Santos, he's running for Congress again, and Santos might sound like a name you already know. Well, he's already been in Congress once. Congress kicked him out of Congress the first time for, let's see here, money laundering, lying about his credentials, taking kickbacks. Here's a little hint, George. If you're going to get kicked out of Congress for being too big of a crook to even be in Congress, stick to selling used cars. Swim instructor Nick Scarrett, I just got to call him Nick S., warns against people wearing blue swimsuits. So he suggests in pools, because under the water you see these blue swimsuits, you can't see people down there, he says. So he's requesting that all women do all their shopping for swimsuits through the Hooters catalog. This year, the Chinese people have started throwing coins at aircraft before they take off for good luck. Unfortunately, a lot of these coins are falling into the engines and literally are blowing up the engines on the tarmac. If this is called wishing them good luck, what do you call wishing them bad luck? You just throw a hand grenade at them? Taylor Swift recently had a concert on her Aspiria tour, where she performed for over 3.5 hours. And one part of the concert, she shows up on the big screen, her boyfriend is on the side stage, behind the stage, cheering her on and applauding for 20 seconds. A woman in the audience said that it ruined the entire event for her, and she wants a refund because of pain and aggravation of having to see Travis Kelce during a Taylor Swift concert for all of 20 seconds. Touchy, huh? Biden's doctors said he was fit to be president, but didn't actually do a cognitive test somehow. So we continue to be a country that has got basically a weekend at Bernie's situation. Florida couple drives to You're going to love this one. Okay. Florida couple drive to Washington, D.C. and beat the crap out of their cousin to steal their 2-year-old. Or that person's 2-year-old. They steal the 2-year-old, but luckily the 2-year-old does get to come home safely. But since they stole the baby in an Amazon box, they did have to pay shipping and handling to get her back. I didn't write that one. Or maybe I did. I don't know. Definitely wrote this one. 4 comedians canceled in Seattle at a bar called the Capitol Hill Comedy Bar. And I quote the reason of why they were not allowed to perform. The club claimed that these 4 different comedians violated their community ethos. Yeah, their community ethos. I got a couple questions for them. How about Sam Kinison, Richard Pryor? Let me guess, you're not going to like their ethos either, are you? Or they're not going to like your ethos. I don't know. But, you know, it's really interesting that an actual bar called Capitol Hill Comedy Bar doesn't actually know anything about something called the First Amendment. On the upside for Biden, a major world superpower did endorse him to be president again. The world superpower that vouched for him to be president again? None other than Vladimir Putin. Good job, Joe Biden. At least Vladimir Putin likes you. Let's see here. Oh, we got 2 fun ones. January 25th, 2 pilots fell asleep in the middle of a flight at 36,000 feet for 30 minutes. They have been temporarily suspended. Temporarily? What do you have to do to get fired if you fall asleep in the middle of a flight for 30 minutes? I mean, these guys must be what? Flying for Frontier Airlines or something? Christian eats sushi hot dogs. Disgusting. Really disgusting. You don't know Christian, but I decided to throw that in there for the pure fact I find that to be a very disturbing headline. Adam Montgomery this week. This is a fun one. You're going to love this one. I know my good buddy Alec likes this one. Adam Montgomery this week beat his 5-year-old daughter half to unconsciousness. Then took his wife out to the methadone clinic for drugs. And then a night out to dinner. Topped off his day with beating the unconscious child to death when he got home. Alec Baldwin smiled and said, "See, I'm not so bad after all." Okay. A truckload of meat from Oscar Mayer was stolen, and an attempted exchange was made for 50 grand worth of cocaine. Actually, that part really doesn't surprise me. I'm curious, though, of one thing. How do you barter a deal like this for a truckload of Oscar Mayer meats for 50 grand worth of cocaine? Is this somewhere on Facebook? Marketplace? Is this a Craigslist kind of deal that got arranged? I'm curious about that one. Trump gaining closer to his Republican nomination, he's announced his new Never Surrender high top shoes. They're $399, made in China, and they go with the slogan, Make America Great Again. $399 for a pair of shoes made in China, and your slogan is, Make America Great Again. That doesn't add up, does it? Nope. Oh, don't worry, I got some Trump jokes in here too. Look, let's put it this way. I'd like to thank CNN, Fox News, major media, and all the other idiot dickhead media services out there for making this year very interesting and full of crap. But at least you guys were fun to watch. Sometimes. Biden visits East Palestine, Ohio to survey the train derailment causing the most dangerous hazardous toxins to explode in American history over a year after the incident actually took place. After that, Joe Biden jumped on the nearest airplane of his and went and visited the survivors of the Titanic to see how they're getting along. That Joe always cares. Oh, this is a fun one. I love this one. Joe Biden is still going around talking about his Uncle Bozy. Uncle Bozy, as you may recall from Joe's own interviews, is the uncle of his that got shot down in battle in World War II, crashed, and was eaten by New Guinea cannibals. Okay? I got a question. What do you serve with Biden for dinner? I'm thinking a nice Chianti. You need something a little spicy, you know, to flavor up the meat a little bit, and some nice grilled vegetables, and some sourdough bread. Why sourdough bread? Yeah, okay. Biden, so it's a Biden, so it is lumpy, doughy, sour, and really bad for you. Write that one down. Space Force planning first ever military exercises in orbit. Buck Rogers, Starbuck, and Alf are excited to participate as well. Iran threatens to attack Israel with weapons it has never used before, nor do they actually understand how they work. Well, anybody else scared yet? That ain't gonna end well. Or is it just my sphincter that's jammed up at the moment, thinking about what those nitwits are gonna do with nuclear weaponry? Walmart is closing its virtual healthcare services clinics in all 51 locations due to the fact they didn't understand they actually had to have live medical people at the other end of the virtual call, which is totally against Walmart's new rules when it comes to hiring. We don't hire live people. Nope. Check yourself in, and yes, you can even start unloading the trucks for them. Nikki Haley backs Trump for office when she drops out of the race. Trump says, I've got enough damn problems. Thanks. California new driving law. Cars will now immediately tell you when you are over the speed limit. And your car will now tell the authorities as well that you're over the speed limit. It's like an evil friggin' kit from Knight Rider that hates its owner. Fabulous. A new setting on iPhones. Oh, this is fun. Their Journal app allows consumer data to be discoverable by others and is on default setting when you get the phone. It will remain on even if you delete the app. Apple is saying it sounds more sinister than it really is. They say you should just view it, you know, similar to hosting a dinner party. When the data gathered, social media doesn't meet their needs, so they go straight to the source. Nope, nothing sinister about that. Recording my information without me knowing about it, even though I delete it? What could possibly go wrong? Amazon has permission to fly drones over long distances. The FAA approved the company's operations beyond the line of visual sight. You know what that means, guys. Get your shotguns and your nets. Christmas comes early. Illinois legislator passes bill relabeling convicted felons. Now they're going to be known as justice-impacted individuals. Doesn't that sound nice? Can't call them criminals anymore. Justice-impacted individuals. Isn't that nice? That's nice. Live Nation reveals data breach at its Ticketmaster subsidiary. So now everybody can see the fact that you actually bought Jonas Brothers tickets. I bought them for my cousin. Okay, next story. Senator Bernie Sanders is making a new policy that he wants to try to get passed. Bernie Sanders wants the work week for Americans to be 32 hours a week. Honestly, I'm shocked. Did you know Bernie Sanders is still alive? I thought he died years ago. America is having a rough year. Yeah, that's not news. That's not news. NASA landed on Uranus for the first time ever this year. NASA went back to the moon for the first time in 52 years. We landed on the moon and promptly the space shuttle fell over. This actually has nothing to do with Uranus. I just wanted to say Uranus. AT&T had a satellite fall out of the orbit and went crashing down. And unfortunately, many customers lost phone and their porn services. AT&T is deeply sorry. And this is... I did coloring while I was at the restaurant today. Just the fact that I was, using crayons in a crowded restaurant and people looked at me a little odd. Especially my date. Yep, that's the last time I'm going to date that one. The random fact... okay, Boston... Oh, this is fun. Boston migrant housing issue. Boston's leadership is asking all Boston residents to take in migrants. This kind of goes against the Third Amendment, right? That was signed a couple hundred years ago. Third Amendment right. Third. To which the actual Boston homeless people now pretend to be migrants for the benefits alone. So at least it worked out for somebody. February 20th, the Orange Monster got fined by a New York court $355 million. Yeah! Even though there was no victim and everybody got their money that they were actually owed. No actual crime was actually committed and there was actually no victim. OJ called Trump again to say, I only had to spend $33 million and I got to kill 2 people. You really need to get new attorneys, Trump. Oh, January 28th. Arkansas high school teacher Miss Hare is in a little bit of trouble after admitting in court to having sex over 30 times with a student, including the school parking lot, the classroom, the residence of the student, the hotel, residence of the teacher, across state lines, the lunchroom, and including Disney World. But honestly, everybody says that kids these days don't have a good work ethic. I disagree. This young man right here, he put the work in to get that A. He earned it. Good job, young man. O.J. Simpson died today. And I really didn't want to write a joke about him at first. But after thinking about it, I changed my mind and said, I'll take a stab at it. Oh, this one's fun. In Mississippi, a Dick's store employee found herself in a conundrum of a situation. She found a police officer in uniform stealing a pair of shoes. They were worth $140. So, since the police were already there, what else could the employee do? Called 911. And they did send some other police officers down that, well, did arrest the police officer stealing the shoes, and they took the woman, police officer, to the police station in her own squad car. Well, the Mississippi police chief got word of this and said, that's it, I'm making a rule about hiring from now on. No more cops from California are getting hired in this state. RFK Jr. suspended his 2024 run for the president's office and actually switched teams and backed Donald Trump, which is shocking. There has never been a Kennedy that backed a Republican. I'm sorry, that's just funny. Mississippi alligator now holds the Mississippi River record for being the longest alligator ever found in the Mississippi River, 14 feet long. And to keep in mind, there's over 30,000 alligators in Mississippi rivers. That makes you think twice if you saw Jennifer Love Hewitt skinny dipping, if you'd go in there and join her. Who the hell am I kidding? Jennifer Love Hewitt's going skinny dipping in a Mississippi River. I'll be right behind her. Ukraine now invades Russia, and it's buffering cities to be kept now for a cushion between the two countries. Israel declares surprise war on Germany for World War II atrocities. The Portuguese are also joining the war effort. Okay, that last story is actually fake. But most of you are scratching your heads going, that could be true actually. It's 2024. A lot of crap happened. That made no sense. Nope. Oh yeah, Olympic Village. We gotta mess with this real quick. Olympic Village. There are cardboard beds. Yeah, the beds were actually made out of cardboard. No curtains. Inedible food. Total lack of actual needed protein for them to perform at their very best. Let's see. Bad sleep, bad food, no AC. Who has the bad athletes? We still don't know. Good job, France. You figured out how to lose at something else. Other than just wars this time. You also can't put on an Olympics worth having. Good job. Oh, yeah. And don't forget about the E. coli in the Seine River at the Olympics in France. Again, France, thank you very much for being classy and figuring how to suck at the same time. This year's been fun. We even had a presidential debate drinking game. David Muir, you being an absolute asshat, was not on the list. By the way, you shouldn't be a journalist. You should be fired. I'm closer to being a journalist than you are. That's embarrassing. We've all seen the evolution of the Olympic torch being run through the streets, carried over rivers, and brought to great stadiums all over the world by some of the greatest and most heroic people the world has ever known. This year marked an absolute first. And I'd like to thank my old buddy Snoop Dogg for taking it up there. And just to be fair, Snoop Dogg did think it was a monster doobie when he accepted the honor of carrying the torch. But after finding out it was just a big, hot, glowing stick, he decided he was still going to carry it because, well, he already signed on to do it. That's Snoop Dogg. At least he's a good sport. Oh, this was fun. Alright, you got to follow this one. Little airline trouble this week. Air Canada flight AC-73 from Casablanca to Montreal unfortunately had to turn back and land. Why? Well, one of the passengers asked for a blanket. And the stewardess absolutely lost their minds, screaming, yelling, causing a total panic among the passengers. So they had to turn around and actually land the plane. You know, in 2024, honestly, kind of goes with the rest of the year. FBI Director Christopher Wray, oh, this genius, he actually said Trump was never actually shot at. And the ear bleed that Donald Trump had was a spontaneous ear bleed. He actually friggin' said it. So the dead guy, that was just an illusion? Yeah, okay. The Saudi man earns record for 444 game consoles hooked to one television set. That's right. One man, one TV, 444 different game consoles attached to it. Same time. Believe it or not, this man is single. Can you believe that? Yeah, I was shocked too. Recently discovered video from January 6 shows an individual believed to be a police officer carrying a bag toward the location where the pipe bomb was found by the DNC. This is about 15 minutes before another officer discovered the device. Reasons nobody trusts the government, stuff like this. And the fact that, don't forget, they have also disclosed the fact that aliens are real. Ones up there, yeah. They finally disclosed that's real, and 2024 is so screwed up that nobody even freaking notices or cares. And that tells you a lot about 2024 right there. Aliens are real, and everybody goes, and? UK health workers ordered to ask men if they're pregnant before x-rays. National Health Service staff in the UK are being mandated to ask everyone, even men, if they are pregnant before carrying out radiography. Radiography, I didn't know that word either, I had to look it up. The new mandate was introduced following an incident where a trans man, a biological woman, who was unknowingly pregnant, underwent a CT scan. Yeah, happened. Stranded Boeing astronauts stuck cleaning toilets and rationing clothes. When NASA astronauts Butch And soon he launched to the International Space Station. They were supposed to be there for 8 days. Well, they've been there for 70 days and are now running dangerously low on clothes and food and are now doing all custodial duties at the space station. And you think you've been on some bad trips. But I have flown Frontier Airlines and it's pretty close to this. Backstage, which is an acting website, Actors Access, which is another acting website, and Casting Networks, among a few acting websites where they drummed up supporters by paying them to go down and support candidates, namely Kamala Harris. $150 plus bought you an actor to come down and rah 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 for your candidate, which just happened to be Kamala Harris. First time I've ever actually seen that on an acting website. And yeah, I actually did run that story down. It is true. Tim Walz, former vice president candidate, said that in 1995 he was blamed for having a DWI. He said it was just a misunderstanding. Well, the official report, Tim, says 0.28%. Drunk off your ass. But at least you continuously lied about everything you said about yourself, you jackass. AOC shows up to endorse the fireman, Senator Bowman. You know, again, likes to pull the fire switch and say he, thought it was for the door. Yeah, well, that didn't work out real well for him. AOC showed up, and promptly, Bowman got his butt kicked and did not get reelected. Jeez, I think we were really missing something on that, weren't we? 400 immigrants smuggled into the U.S. by ISIS affiliated networks, DHS. So if you think those neighbors might be terrorists, you might actually be right. Let that one sink in for a minute. 400. And people wonder why I like to live in the country. Less likely to get bombed or whatever the hell these 400 guys are going to do. Megachurch pastor Robert Morris admits to an inappropriate relationship with a 12-year-old. The Catholic priest diocese weighs in and says, one amateur. Chuck Schumer deletes Father's Day photo of him barbecuing and putting cheese on a raw piece of meat on the grill. To which his handlers, advisors, had to inform him that's not stuff that earthlings actually do. Good job, Chucky. Aren't you the same guy that went around saying that Biden had 100% acuity mentally? Hillary Clinton gave a death blow to New York City Rep. George Latimer by endorsing him. Which just goes to prove Hillary Clinton kills anything she touches. Except for Bill's Wang. Obviously, it's still working fine according to the latest inquiry paper. Whew. Man who was adopted at birth found out through testing for a kidney match that his wife of 6 years and the mother to his 2 children, turns out it's his sister. Not the find at Match.com he was hoping for, but yeah, I bet that's going to be an interesting conversation. Florida woman calls the police department on herself. Yes, she did. She called the cops and said, hey, I am going to go commit a felony. I'm going to go steal a car. Then she promptly went down and tried to steal a car from a Toyota dealership. She says she called the cops in advance because you can't find me guilty of a crime that I said I was going to commit. Well, that's what she told the judge. Florida, I gotta admit, that's a fun state. Another fun one in Florida. There was a guy down there who's got video of a guy renting out his Airbnb, going into his shed, and coming out of the shed 3 days later, 40 years older. Yeah, happened in Florida. He's got footage. Is it true? 2024? Maybe. Iowa woman goes viral flashing her boobs at a Google Maps camera while standing outside a bar. The Junkyard Bar to be exact. Address 324 Front Street, Barnum, Iowa. Started trending, according to the Daily Mail. And people started looking at the picture so many times that it actually outpaced Pornhub for the day. California's homeless solution, $80 million solution that is, was for 1,200 tiny homes to be built or brought in that do not have bathrooms. $1,200 tiny buildings, no bathrooms, serving as homes. And that's going to help solve the homeless issue. Well, it's going to smell like hell, but yeah, okay. So that's 2024 for you. We're not even going to get into the whole part where pretty much every media source that we all listen to lied. Not just lied, but lied graphically. If it was Biden's cognitive abilities, or really anything else for that matter. And I would like to just say a special note to 2024 if you're listening. I can't stand you. No one else likes you either. And we're all happy 2025 is coming up in 24 hours. So, I hope all of you get to go out tomorrow night and have a party. And at midnight, say goodbye to this god-awful year. All of its funny, weird little headlines, scary news stories, and all the weirdos that made that happen. And on a very serious note, we're all humans. We all want the same stuff. And I truly hope that your next year is better than this year. Good night, everybody.